Dead air log 001. The line was never supposed to ring. This is dead air log 001, recovered from an internal call routing system after a line that was never supposed to ring when active. I didn't believe in dead air. It was just a term we used at work, a technical phrase, nothing dramatic. Dead air meant an open line with no signal, no input, no output, nothing on the other end. I worked nights at a small regional call center, the kind nobody remembers exists until something breaks. We handled overflow, emergency reroutes, infrastructure failures that didn't quite reach the public. Dead air wasn't unusual. A deadline ringing was, and it wasn't supposed to happen. The training manual was clear about one thing. If a deadline rings, you do not answer it. You flag it, you log it, you wait. No explanation, no context. Most people never encountered that situation anyway. Deadlines don't ring. My job was simple. Monitor the board, log anomalies, escalate anything unusual. That was it. The night shift ran from midnight to 6, but the real dead zone was between midnight and 4. That's when systems stabilized. That's when people slept. That's when nothing was supposed to happen. We spent most of those hours waiting, watching the board, listening to nothing, logging the absence of events. On the night it happened, I was alone on the floor. The building was half lit to save power. Only every other fluorescent strip stayed on, leaving long shadows between empty desks. Security monitors flickered in the corner. The air conditioning cycled on and off. Every line on the board was open, active, silent, dead air. The clock behind me read 2:17 a.m. That's when one line lit up, line 14. I didn't react at first, not because it rang, but because my brain couldn't reconcile what I was seeing. Line 14 shouldn't have existed anymore. It wasn't connected to an external exchange. It hadn't been for months. I remembered, because I helped label it during the decommissioning audit. We'd written it in black marker, inactive, dead, and yet it was blinking, ringing. Not loudly, just a soft, steady pulse, the kind of ring that didn't demand attention. It invited it. I didn't answer. I logged it. 0217, line 14 active, no source ID. The ringing stopped, just like that. I exhaled without realizing I'd been holding my breath. I even smiled, embarrassed by how tense I'd gotten over something so minor. A systems glitch, I told myself, nothing more. It wasn't. At 2:19, it rang again. This time, another line joined it, line 7. Then line 22, all inactive, all decommissioned. The board lit up like it was waking from a long sleep. I stood up. That's when the room went silent. The hum of the lights cut out. The air conditioning stopped. The clock behind me froze mid-tick. Only the ringing remained. I should have walked away. I knew that. I even took a step back from the desk. But curiosity has a way of convincing you that rules don't apply this time, that whatever warning you were given was meant for someone else. I told myself I just needed to confirm something. I answered line 14. "Hello," I said. At first there was nothing. Then, breathing. Slow. Measured. Too close. Not into a phone. More like someone standing beside a microphone, exhaling across it. I froze. "Can you hear me?" I asked. The breathing stopped. A pause. Then a voice, low, calm, almost familiar. "You weren't supposed to answer." I pulled the headset away from my ear. The call stayed open. "I think there's been a mistake. This line is inactive." Another pause. Then, "It was inactive. Now it's logged." I looked down at the keyboard. The log entry had changed. 0217, line 14, active, answered, confirmed. I hadn't typed that. The voice spoke again. You can still stop. Stop what? I asked. The other lines started ringing again, one by one, faster this time. Line 7, line 22, line 3, all dead, all calling in. Logging us, the voice said. Once we're logged, we don't go back. I ripped the headset off my ear. The ringing followed me, not through the headset, in the room. The monitors flickered to static. Across every screen, text began to scroll. Logs, names, dates, times. Some marked answered, most marked missed. Every entry ended the same way. Status, dead air. The phone on my desk rang. Not line 14, my personal extension. I picked it up without thinking. Hello? Silence. Then my own voice played back to me. Hello? The same tone, the same hesitation, a recording from earlier that night. Who is this? I whispered. The response came immediately. You are. The door behind me wouldn't open. The voice returned, not through the phone this time, but everywhere at once. Every signal leaves a trace. Every trace becomes a log. The lights dimmed. The board lit up again. A new line blinked on. Line 01, source ID, internal. It was already ringing. I don't remember leaving the building. Security footage shows me walking out at 2:34 a.m., calm and unhurried, badge still clipped to my shirt. The next morning, line 14 was gone. So was my log entry. So was my access. They told me the system never showed any activity that night. They told me I must have imagined it. But sometimes, just before I fall asleep, my phone lights up. No caller ID, no vibration, just the screen turning on by itself and a single notification beneath it. Incoming call, dead air. I don't answer anymore, but it keeps ringing.